Thank you so much for giving us an opportunity as Technology Innovation Agency to join this forum. It's actually a very interesting forum and exciting opportunity to share what we have been doing at the Technology Innovation Agency to prepare for this future of the current present economies. So I've drafted my topic as a contribution of technological innovations in creative economies, correctly integrating for technologies and creativity. So I'll give you an outline of my presentation. It's just an introduction, then touch on a bit on the technologies that are emerging for 2021, 2022, the requirements for creative economies. What would you need to have for you to actually participate meaningfully in the creative economies, especially in the digital world, and also give you a brief of some of the technologies that we have supported at the Technology Innovation Agency, and then we will be concluding. So as we all know, that technological innovation has landed us into a digital world, which is characterized by new ways of doing things. It has completely changed our lives. If you talk about how we do production and also how we communicate as human beings and interact, it's also how we trade is very different from what we've been doing in the last industrial revolutions. And also the distribution and consumption is very different. And this applies to all industries, not only into the creative industries or creative economies. And we have to know that with that, we have to see a lot of changes or a lot of disruptions with creative economies not actually omitted, as we have seen a dramatic change in the creative economies in the ways that we now can see new forms of art and management tools. We can also see new business models and stakeholder relations, and also we now talking about virtual communities with digital assets. If you think about the new forms of art, we talk about the digital art, digital media, as well as new strategies for marketing. And talking about the business models themselves, we know how this has changed. In fact, we talk about the digital marketplaces. You can even think about the in-gallery apps that we do have. There's lots of those that you can see in the marketplaces now, ensuring that the art world or the creative economies is not left behind. They can still transact in the digital economies. And also we know of the augmented realities and virtual realities, where now we can actually be immersed into a meta world, demonstrating our innovations, demonstrating and showcasing our products without being in physical contact with the people that we are interacting or sharing or showcasing our services and products. So this tells us that you as a creator, you have to rethink your strategies. You have to rethink about how you're going to navigate this new world. And I do not think it's something that is very difficult. It's more like when you're changing your location to another place, for sure you have to learn the new environment. And this is very important that we do that if we want to continue contributing and competing in this new world. So if you think about the emerging technologies for 2020, 2021, and this has a direct influence to the creative economies, there's lots of growth in terms of distributed infrastructure, talking about cloud and edge computing, that directly affect how you guys or how the creative industries would be transacting amongst themselves or interacting with their customers, because now you can actually do a lot of sales without being in contact with anyone. You can also showcase your technologies through virtual realities. You can showcase your products or your services or your artworks without having to be in physical contact. We've seen, just talked about the online theaters or virtual theaters that we've been seeing throughout 2020, 2021. So it means that also we in South Africa, we have to prepare for that and also have a playing field that will enable our creators to benefit in this world and also compete meaningfully. And for sure, we cannot do that without connectivity. This is one of the most important things for you to compete or to actually contribute into this world meaningfully. You need to have a lying ground. So that is a serious infrastructure that we need for us to be able to participate in this new world. So it means the importance of connectivity, it actually increases dramatically. We need to be connected for us to make our transactions, to actually participate in those digital marketplaces and showcase our products. And also how we actually now showcase our products and also how we produce our artworks. We have now talking about the 3D printing and all that, cutting the cost and also the time to the marketplace. Also the visualization is something that is very different now, having people to come and immerse with you. If you think about the gaming, for sure, you would think about these are the key industries, the first industry that has adopted 3D technologies and visualization to ensure that people can now experience something that is very close to reality, but in different locations. As a gamer myself, I know that I'm playing with people from Cambodia and everyone else, and it's nice. We got to interact, we're talking, we building networks and all that. It's not just about the game. So it shows you that there's lots of possibilities in this with technological innovations. And also the natural language processes and speech technology is very important so that we can be able to translate whatever form of art that we create to expand our audience. That is increasing our market access and also the revenues that we do have. But all this cannot happen if we do not have security. So security is one of the most important things. If you have seen the likes of blockchain, NFTs that are coming in place to ensure that we maintain the originality of the artworks that we produce, we maintain the authenticity. We can also verify that to ensure that we're transacting with the right people. So these are the kind of technologies that we have to think about and actually immerse ourselves, get to understand how they work. We do not have to be actually experts in the fields, but understanding how this work and influences your work or what you produce would be at your beneficial. Moving to the requirements for you, or for all the creative economies, broadband access, as has been indicated in the preceding sessions, the anti-piracy and protection platforms. So we need to know that if we talk about this digital world, there will be a spike in piracies, and also there's a threat in terms of security in everything that we produce. So we need to have platforms in place that will protect our works. And also the production and distribution platforms, we need to be very clear about that. So this takes us to what we've been doing at the Technology Innovation Agency to ensure that we prepare South Africa for the future, to ensure that our South Africans, the creators, and the industry as a whole can actually participate meaningfully and contribute. Sorry guys, someone is yes. So we have to be very clear about what we need in terms of the infrastructure, laying a conducive environment for our South Africans to participate in this world and compete globally. So if we talk about our technologies, technology innovation agents, what we have done, there's GLSDA, it's a technology that was developed by CSIR. It's a dynamic spectrum management tool for allocation management and effective utilization of national radio spectrum. We know the importance of spectrum when talking about connectivity, and we've seen a lot of fights coming in and out with ICASA and some of the role players in the industry of the telecommunication technologies fighting for the spectrum. But there's also one thing that we have to think about. Connectivity is still much of a challenge in the South African context, especially in the rural communities. It's one of the key areas that have been neglected or left behind. And we know that most of the creative works is coming from those regions. So it's important that we have technologies that would enable the network operators to actually connect those. Those areas are characterized by huge disbursement between areas. There's a lot of disparities, and also the terrains do not allow effective communication. So we always have an issue of communicating in there. But now there's also a possibility of actually tapping into the TV white space. So this technology is actually enabling that so that network operators can easily install or roll out networks in those communities that have been neglected, so that these people can participate in the digital world. That's the most important thing. Also, if you think about the antenna of the 5, we also have fiber point. looking at the fiber to the home. So also it's one of the most important things we have seen. There's been a lot of growth in terms of fiber to the home, especially in congested areas. But then what do you think about the townships? Still a challenge. One of the key things that characterizes fiber points is huge capital costs, because you need to trench, you need to do everything. But with this technology, you can actually now roll out fiber without having to actually trench or have overhead cables. That's solving a network challenge, network operators challenges, and solving them a lot of money in terms of rolling out the networks. This also opens us an opportunity to cover a lot of areas also in the township communities. We have a lot of artists in those, and they will be now in a position to actually participate in this world. Also, Riot is also an interesting business that is still within the wireless technologies, where communities or businesses can come together, then they acquire a network and deploy the network for their private services, or also make it a private infrastructure, sorry, a public infrastructure, so that everyone in a certain community can be connected. So it allows people to actually roll out the network, manage this network on their own, giving them the opportunity to learn about rolling out and managing the networks. Also, this opens up opportunity for creative industries to expand and also increase their customer base. Then we also have some of the technologies which are very important if you want to compete, participate meaningfully. You need to be protected. And we know the issue of piracy. So Kusto, it's a startup company from Stellenbosch University. They developed a decentralized platform for detecting piracy, ensuring that they protect media content. So it could be video, music, film, educational content, or source codes. This is very important also for creative industries, because they need to be able to track the flow of the artworks and understand, and it moves to flow freely. So this allows you to have a clear understanding of where the critical leak has happened. This technology has been used in the industry already, and it has protected over 2 million copies of video, film, and educational content. So it goes to show you that there's a role that the government or technology innovation agencies playing in ensuring that we have a playing ground for our communities, for our creators to participate in this world without fear of losing the revenues. We know a lot of money that is lost through content leaks. We know the issue of piracy, and if we do not have those technologies that are protecting our works, we'll have challenges. So this is one of the technologies that you would want to look at as a creator to ensure that you tap into this opportunity. Connectable is also one of the South African technologies that we've supported. It's a digital identity orchestration platform. In a digital world, we also need to be protected. Also, there's lots of digital identity fraud. So this technology is tailored to ensure that we reduce that, also to reshape the digital customer chain. So here it ensures the verification of digital identities. So as a creator also, you can verify the identities of the people that you actually are transacting with. You do not have to know where they are. In fact, this platform, it allows you to track where they are. Even if they are changing their address, it changes automatically on your system. So you can keep track of their whereabouts. I think it's also one of the most important technologies that you can look at if you want to transact here and compete in this world. Cognitive systems, we know we're talking about AI, artificial intelligence, big data, and all that. And for creative industries, they do not have to reinvent the wheel. There's a platform that has been created and supported by technology innovation agents. It's an artificial mind engine. With this platform, you can do anything that you want, any application. It can be health, it can be art, to ensuring that you're developing your marketplace, to ensuring that you're developing your virtual environment. You can come into these guys, they can assist you, ensuring that you get to compete and participate in this new world. So these are the kind of technologies and the kind of work that we are doing at the Technology Innovation Agents in ensuring that you guys or the creative industries are protected, they are able to compete and participate meaningfully without any disruption or lack of the infrastructure, because infrastructure is one of the key competing factors or requirements that you need in the digital world. So with my conclusion, we have to understand that you don't have to be an expert in order to participate. You just need to learn the new environment like you would do when you are relocating. Also, it's very important that you pay close attention to your customer's voice. It's very important. Their behaviors have changed dramatically. So they would be in a position to tell you how they want to interact and consume your artworks, which will take you back to some of the technologies. So if you do not know the technologies that are actually driving this world, you will have challenges. And it's important that you learn about this environment, get to know who's doing what in the industry. And also collaboration is one of the key things for you. And also understanding the foundational building blocks of this world, it will make you to contribute immensely and participate and compete. I think, and we believe that there are more opportunities for growth in the digital world than any challenges that you can think of. Thank you.